Introduce yourself for us at the Latino Review.
Sure, I'm Chad Crawford Kinkle, and I'm the writer-director of Jugface.
So you're here at San Diego Comic-Con. How are you promoting Jugface to the audiences here?
Well, we're doing a lot of just like handouts and like posters and buttons and everything like that, and I'm doing interviews and just basically spreading the word myself. It was kind of a last-minute thing for me to come out here, so I'm kind of on my own doing it. So this movie Jugface, I did see a trailer. I have no idea what's going on. So could you actually tell us what's going on? Sure, of course. It's basically like a backwoods story about this cult. And the thing that they have going on is they worship this force in a pit. And if they give it a sacrifice when it wants it, it'll heal them. And so basically, when the settlers arrived in this little part of Tennessee, they got chicken pox and they were dying off. And the pit spoke to the potter of the group, and they showed him the face of the person who wanted to sacrifice to it, like this force in the ground. And so he created this jug with a face on it. Mm-hmm. And so since then, they've been worshiping this pit because it healed them at that point, and will continue to heal them ever since, as long as they give it a sacrifice. And so the story follows this teenage girl who figures out that she's going to be next, that it's her face on the jug, but instead of giving herself up, she hides it. Uh-huh. And what happens when the creature doesn't get what it wants, the force comes out and starts killing them until it gets the right sacrifice. So it's a story about her trying to decide whether to escape or whether she should give herself up for the good of the community.
So essentially a love story. No.
Well, there is a love story in it, but it's actually between brother and sister. Uh-huh. So it's a backwoods story. So, and the situation is that the brother and sister have always lived in the same room together. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like things have just sort of happened because there's not that many other families left. Mm-hmm. But and in the story, she's being she's going to be married to someone else, and so that causes a conflict. And then there's another guy, the actual potter. He's actually in love with the main character too, which causes like a conflict of interest then too, because he's the one making the face jug of her to be killed, but he's actually in love with her.
So does the creature contact the potter somehow, like mystically or something like that?
Right. He becomes possessed and sees in his mind what the creature, the force wants, mm-hmm. and it creates it then. So it creates the jug.
So do we ever get to really see the creature, or that just becomes a mystery throughout the movie?
It's more implied. I mean, I was really thinking that more like an H.P. Lovecraft creature, so something that didn't have quite a physical form. It was more gas, but it did have, a little bit of a form. And just because, for one, budget and different reasons like that, we didn't show the creature. And also in the story, when the creature does show up, you're seeing through its eyes. The girl, she sees what it's seeing. So you're actually seeing through the creature's eyes through all when it comes out of the pit. So you wouldn't see it anyway.
Now here's a very important question. Where did you get the inspiration for this?
It's actually from a pottery museum in North Georgia in the mountains. There's like a Southern folk art museum, and there I saw for the first time an actual face jug, which is like they've been making since 1850. And it was like this jug that had like a grotesque face on them that they would use for like poisons for farming and like moonshine. Uh-huh. And I saw them and I thought, wow, that's like the creepiest thing I've ever seen. I really wanted to have one. And I was just walking around the exhibit, and there's a video of a potter talking about the process, and I just immediately started imagining this possessed potter making a face jug of a girl, and then like the pit was talking to him that he got the clay from, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, that's the sacrifice that the pit wants. And
so who did you actually get to make the pottery for your set then?
Like once I started writing the screenplay, I started looking for potters that were just still doing it now that could actually do a portrait of the actress. And so I started collecting I have about 20 something in my office, and I found a potter actually in Connecticut. His name's Jason Malky, and he's the one who actually, I got to do the face jugs for the movie. So
why would you put it in like a backwoods setting? was it tied related to the fact that you went to a pottery farm out in Georgia, or you just wanted something like, like out in the middle of nowhere and so?
Well, since it was going to be a story about an isolated group, like I grew up in a very small southern town, and where they have like snake handling, religion, and also like just other cultish offshoots of Christianity. So it just made sense to have it in the South. And to portray it like that, in the woods, because like that, it wouldn't happen in like a city setting. They wouldn't be using pottery anymore anyway.
So it's basically much more of a thriller amongst this one family because one girl doesn't want to be sacrificed. Then
basically, a small community of like 4 families is what's left.
So who are some of the actors in this film?
Well, our biggest one is Sean Young, who was in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And then we have Larry Fessenden, who is in a bunch of like indie horror movies, and then we have Sean Bridgers, who is in the HBO show Deadwood, and then we have like the lead is Lauren Ashley Carter, and this is her first feature.
Well, that sounds actually terrific. So, when will audiences finally get to see this movie? When could they actually check this out?
It's already available on video on demand through iTunes and Amazon and PlayStation and Xbox in the States, and then it goes into cable through video on demand at the end of the month, because it's doing a 15-city like theatrical August 9th. And I'm not sure about the other territories when it starts doing that. This is kind of like all just the U.S. territory.
So hopefully we'll have like a good cult following and a good word on it.
Well, what's wild is it's being pirated all over the world, and I every day I read tweets from Indonesia from these little teen girls that are watching it, like literally every day, and it's always different girls. So for some reason it's like struck a nerve in like that country.
Okay, terrific. And one last question. Do you have any, after Jugface here, obviously you're all completed, do you have any other pipeline projects that you could talk about, or maybe if there's a sequel to Jugface?
Right now, I don't know if there's going to be a sequel, but I'm still writing, and I've got my latest screenplay about done. So I'll just have to see what happens with that. But everything's kind of under wraps at the moment.
Okay, terrific. Hey, thank you for the interview, and I'll have to check out this Jugface. But it creeps me out. I'm going to get nightmares, that's for sure. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.